Hello, everyone, and welcome back to this little mini series on generating the valley. This is episode 3, and when we last left off, I went ahead and built the entire community home as well as the start of the Nether portal. And today, I want to get right into it. I've really been enjoying this series, and I've really been enjoying building and editing, and I'm excited to continue. So, to kick off this episode, I want to go ahead and take a quick look at our little message board over here, which we have not used since the first episode. Um, I kind of want to look at a couple of things on how we kind of want the rest of the series to go and the kind of main ideas behind where we're going to kind of go from here. I feel like I would like to make more concise episodes where maybe I can record everything in one sitting and edit the next day. And what I'm seeing right now is I'm doing a lot of random things, and it would be nice to have kind of like one main subject that I get done per episode to really focus on in that one episode. So what I want to go ahead and do is list a couple of more ideas that we can do for either different videos or just kind of things to do throughout the rest of our time working here in the valley. So today, what I want to do is I have three main goals, and that is going to be wizards, magic, and ruins. The three main things I want to work on today is finishing up the wizard tower. When I say magic, I actually mean commands. The main idea that I'm thinking for the magic side of things is having some type of command block that will keep people away from the areas that they have not unlocked. And I don't know quite how I'm going to do that, or if I'm going to have them be teleported or like blinded or something like that, just to like kind of signify like, hey, you haven't unlocked this area. I'm going to work through that, just kind of keeping magic as the central theme here, just because we're in the fantasy district. And then the final thing I want to do is actually set up the ruins. And this might actually be the first thing that we do today, because it should be fairly simple. The whole point of the bundles is that we're not building the whole thing. So I think what I'm going to do is set up maybe like the base of the columns here, get like a couple pieces of obsidian just to kind of be like, huh, what's going on here? Get some stone down, some tough, probably just like around a stack each, and then call it good from there. Because the whole point is I don't want to build it right now, and I want people to contribute towards a community goal. And so that is my final idea of what I want to get done in today's episode. I feel like that is pretty reasonable. It gives me kind of three major things to work for, but unlike in the past, it also gives me like a main central theme and gives me, it's not too much. So now moving forward, we still have a couple of things that we need to do. We need to go ahead and move the parkour. If I go ahead and go into free cam here, that's talking about moving a section or two from this parkour course and putting it somewhere else. I'm not entirely sure how we're going to do that as well, um, but that's something that needs to get done admin-wise. We also need to start working on the other bundles, so we can say for the future we can go greenhouse. We can say we need to work on the bridge or bridges, depending on what we are thinking. We need to work on the path work for all the paths, and that's including like going around the village and around the lake, and just kind of like all the general ideas that we have to do. So that includes some little bit of decoration. That's one of the bundles, so we don't want to mess too much. We can probably say we want to go to the gate to the village, so we'll say village gate, and maybe some lanterns along the way. Now this got me thinking there's probably something else we can do for the admin sign here. We can probably put trimming the chunks because that's something else I would like to do, at least for the end before we restart. And most likely, if I go into free cam here, kind of the areas a little bit closer around here, just in case there is like something that wasn't spawned in when we originally created the server. And like considering spawn is right there, this was probably loaded on pretty. This was probably loaded pretty early on. And so we're definitely going to trim some chunks around here just so we can get a fresh experience. And otherwise, I think one of the only last things that we need to do is create the smaller daily spin machine. Now, I went ahead and grabbed a couple things of dyes just so we can kind of check some of these things off our list here because I believe these three are pretty much done. And I think the only other thing that we need to add is going to be the valley tunnel connections. And honestly, this is probably something that I can add later. Oh, that did not work. There we go. I have a feeling that this is maybe something that will be added after we start. It's probably going to take us quite a bit to even get to the point of unlocking the rest of the valley. And so that is potentially something that we can do later once the series has actually started. Because honestly, I have a feeling that I can get most of this stuff done, but not all of it needs to be done right away for the day of server launch. And I think I'd probably like to continue this kind of behind the scenes series, just one episode every once in a while when I need to do something major. But I think I want to continue it even after we start the server back up. And so I think this is probably a good plan. I'm sure we'll mix and match some of this, but today we're going to be focusing mostly on number 4 here, which is Wizards, Magic, and Ruins. And as I said, I think I would like to start on the Ruins itself, just so we can get this completely checked off the list and have this like 100% done and ready to go on the Valley, which I'm really excited for. After that, I say we can probably switch it up and go to some of the command blocks. And then we'll probably finish out the video by finishing the Wizard's Tower here. I'm really excited for this because when I first built this, I was not very happy with how it looked. I don't like the way it looks. It just kind of looks plain. Obviously, I haven't finished it either. Um, but the roof, I'm gonna go into free cam here. The roof is kind of like curved up here in these places, and I really want to show that the wizard tower can kind of do the same. It's not just like a straight tower going up, it's more organic. And so I'm really excited to work on that. But we are going to have to see how that goes. Let me go ahead and grab some of the materials I need for the ruins over here, and we will go ahead and start that right now. All right, I had this shulker box kind of prepared, but I had to go grab a couple more things. But I believe we are ready to go. So I'm probably just going to go ahead and turn this into a time lapse, and I will see you in just a second. So some unfortunate news. I think my replay file got corrupted or something. Whenever I try to open it, my Minecraft just crashes, and I just can't find any way to open it. So unfortunately, no time lapse. But I want to show you guys the progress that I made and the ruins that I made. Yeah, for the most part, it's just kind of, I just made a general outline of roughly where things are going to go. I don't want to use too much materials, and I think I did a pretty good job of conveying that, oh, something's going to be here and the general shape of it without actually building it and not actually using the bundle, because that wouldn't really make any sense. And the other thing that I placed down was this little lantern and this chest and this book. So the book is going to have basically all the resources, like a list of resources that we need. It's probably just going to be either stacks or half stacks or something like that, unless we need like a single one of something. I don't think we have anything like that in this build. But I'm basically going to need to find the schematic mod again and reinstall that so that way I can get like a material list of what we actually need for the section. But I think this kind of gives a good idea of what's supposed to go here. I put a little bit of dirt around the outside and I expanded some of this so that way it didn't look kinda, I don't know, so that way it doesn't look like there's just straight walls. But yeah, I'm happy with how this is turning out. And I think if I go ahead and go into free cam here, I think this is pretty much all we need. I kind of planted some more trees here as well. Don't quite know what I'm gonna do. Maybe I can add some up on the cliffs here. I kind of want it to be more secluded, make it look like it's in some type of clearing. Uh, but for now, I think this is fine. So yeah, I think what we're gonna do next is go ahead and start on the either world borders or kind of just barriers to make it so that way people can't get to the other parts of the valley. Now I had a couple ideas for this, and I've been searching and searching for different mods and different kind of ideas on what to do. And I was taking some inspiration from the Twilight Forest mod, and they do two different things that I like. I like both of them. What they do is they create barriers around an entire biome, which is really nice, and it's just ones that kind of show up as you walk up to it. Now I was looking for mods, and I think I might have found one, but I also kind of want to avoid mods. And the other thing that Twilight Forest does is actually, I can't remember which biome it is, but I believe there is a biome that just basically gives you complete blindness until you have actually unlocked it. And I think that might be a little bit better of an idea for this server. And how I would do that is basically go into creative and place down a command block that would basically anything between like a set of chords would give you blindness and maybe some type of message. Um, so that is the magic portion of today's video. Is I think I am actually going to run a couple of commands just for the admin side of the server here. I think I have a couple of places to add them. I believe I have one, two, three. I think there's four. So the first place we're going to place one of these commands is actually going to be inside the minigame district itself. Basically anything across this river will give you blindness, and I don't know entirely how I'm going to do that. But we are gonna have to go ahead and find a place for um, we are going to have to go ahead and find a place for this command block. And then once we do one of these, we'll be able to do the rest of them pretty easily. The other places that I'm going to be doing are going to be the village over there, and then also probably one or two for the valley itself. Um, it doesn't actually stop people, but it lets people know it's like, hey, I'm not actually supposed to be in this area right now. And so it makes it so that way people don't have to install an extra mod that might actually cause problems in the future by it either not updating or just problems with the mod itself. So yeah, I think we want to keep it vanilla by doing command blocks only. And I think now we can go ahead and find a place to put this. So I kind of had a funny idea. I'm back in the tavern, up in my attic space here. I have a little upper portion here that you can only access from like ladders or from jumping on the fences over there, and it's basically just kind of a random storage that I don't really have too much in. But I had an idea of just maybe I should put the command blocks up here too because no one's ever gonna actually access this. I'm like everyone has access to everything on the server anyways, so it doesn't really matter where the command blocks are. Uh, but for now, I might just put like 4 repeating command blocks on here that are basically just it will constantly give blindness in a certain area. So I'm gonna go ahead and drop my stuff off here just to make sure that I don't actually clear anything in creative, and then I will go ahead and go into creative here. Now this is not something that is very typical for the server. I only go into creative every once in a while for admin duties, or like let's say we had a griefer come onto the server, and so I had to reset a bunch of things. So something like that is really the only time that I do that. But for now, I will go ahead and get us a command block. Now, is this the same as... Now, I realize I probably gave myself the wrong one. I think I need a repeating command block here. There we go. We'll go from there. Now, you're going to have to bear with me here as I figure this out. Last time I did commands was on Bedrock, and so things are going to be a little bit different on here. I know they have some similar commands, but I know their prompts are a little bit different. Let's see. Oh God, yeah. Let's see. So we can say give, and then if I could type correctly, that'd be great. And then I'm going to try this. This is something that I had suggested to me. So at ease, typically I do like type equals or name equals, but radius doesn't work. It does not. Okay, well, give me a second. I'm going to have to do a little bit more research into this. Okay, so bit of an update here. I think I got one to work. I am so out of my league with Java commands. It's not even funny. Like the double dots here, I have no clue what that does. But for now, it looks like if I press this, I at least give myself blindness, and I think it gives everything within a 10 block radius blindness. So what I need to go ahead and do now is figure out how much of a radius I actually need here for each of these. And this, now that I'm realizing it, if I'm going to just do a radius instead of a XYZ chords, I might have to move some of these commands. In which case I'll probably just put them somewhere where I'll just have them labeled and then people won't mess with them because why would they? So I think though that's where we are headed. I'm going to go ahead and find out how much of a radius we need here, and I will go ahead and set this thing up. Okay, so a little bit of testing has been done, and I have figured out a couple of things, which I am a little surprised about. I thought that the commands were in the spawn chunks, but they might not be because I have gotten the blindness effect to work, but I can't get it to extend past basically right here. If I go right here, you can see it gives me blindness. I'm up in the air, so it's completely blind. I can't see anything. If I back up, it's fine. So this is working kind of how I want it to, where let's say for whatever reason this was our barrier. As soon as you go in, it's like, oh, I'm not supposed to be here. Okay, I gotta turn around. And then it's pretty much instant. Obviously, the text is not going to be like that because that'd be awful. I'll go ahead and just disable command block output. So I've got it almost working, and so this actually kind of works for the valley itself. I think I will probably just put like a command block there and a command block there, especially because we kind of want to do the 2 tunnels anyways. So we can do those 2 command blocks, and then we just might have to have like one, two, three command blocks here, and then a fourth one for the village. A little bit more setup than I was hoping for, but honestly, like that blindness effect is pretty fucking cool. I very much so like the idea behind having to walk over here and then all of a sudden you're just blinded because you haven't left the area before. It's like, oh, because you can. The best part is you can still technically go here. It's like I'm not actually. I have found a way in vanilla to stop people from going somewhere without actually physically having to put up any like barriers or something like that because that would have been such a pain to do along the outside wall here or outside river. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and put down these four command blocks, and then once that's done, I'll kind of show it off and we'll go from there. Okay, I have learned my lesson. I should not put down these command blocks and activate them without having a way to teleport back to them, because otherwise I have to climb these hills and hope that I can find them. This is pretty awful. So yeah, I've learned. I just need. Oh, there. Thank God. Okay, doing that. Turn that off. Should have 2 seconds left. Okay. Woo. That was a close one. So what I'm probably gonna do is uh I will not activate these until we are pretty much ready to go for the server to start, because I'm going to be flying back and forth from here all the time. So let's not do that to ourselves. So I've got that one set up. I'm gonna start doing this one, and I think I'm probably gonna have to do. I think I've learned now. I gotta put one there, one here, one here. I'll probably put one over here somewhere, and in the spruce, and then finally in the village. So kind of just one, about five for this area. Really not a big deal. It's as long as I can copy and paste the text, it's fine. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead. That just want to give a quick update of don't do that if you ever do something like that in your own world. Make sure you have a backup plan to either teleport or know exactly what the chords are. But yeah, so let's keep going. All right, a little bit of an update here. I think I've got pretty much everything ready to go. This is the village one. This is about where the bundle would be. And then as we kind of start walking into the village, we will start getting affected with blindness and like, okay, time to turn around. You can't really see anything, and it only lasts 2 seconds. The reason it's not 1 second is because otherwise it kind of like makes some like flashing because it's constantly turning on and off. So if you do 2 seconds, it's kind of perfect. You just constantly have the blindness. But yeah, so that's that. We have this ready to go. I'm pretty excited about this. I think this is a really good way to do it without having to change anything, like without having to add any mods or anything. I'm pretty happy with this. So I'm gonna go ahead and show a image on screen here. These are all the locations of the command blocks. And basically as we as we complete the bundles, I will go ahead and destroy those command blocks. We have no reason to keep them. They're all just on the surface, so it's not like they're hidden or anything. It's very much so just Bedrock on the surface, make it easy for me, make it easy for the other people in the server. So yeah, I think that is that. And now there is really only one thing left to do for this episode, and that is the Wizard Tower. So I've gone ahead and gathered some materials for this project. Most of them I already had from building the community house itself, but now we can go ahead and start on the tower. And the first thing we are actually going to do is pretty much destroy the entire thing. Not looking forward to that. But I hate the shape of this right now, and that's the whole point of me redoing this. So yeah, we're gonna start by tearing it down, and then from there we are going to build it back up and put the roof on that thing, and that will be it. Let's do this time lapse. guys. I hope you enjoyed that time lapse. That was a lot of fun getting these decorations done. I am pretty proud with how this tower is turning out. Um, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up the video here. We'll go ahead and look over here at our beautiful creation. A little bit different than any tower I've ever made. I've never really made like the curve in shape. So first attempt. So it's not gonna be the greatest, but you know what? I am proud with where it is at right now. Um, Looks like looks a little wonky. I don't know. We'll probably fix some of this in the meantime or some other time. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. I think it fits the aesthetic well. We'll probably continue this kind of like striping of the crystals over to this roof a little bit. Not too much, and maybe to these little other towers too. Still not entirely sure what to do with these. They're just kind of decoration, but I think what I'm gonna do is put down an enchantment table in there, or maybe have that be a bundle. Uh, but it's almost like a perfect spot for it. I mean, like, just in here, or I don't know. We'll find a place for it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed the video. Go ahead and subscribe and like and do all that stuff. Yeah, and I'll see you soon. Have a good one.